New York Mets have just signed Jorge Polanco to a 2-year, $40 million contract. When Jeff Passan reported the contract, he said that Jorge Polanco will be the team's first baseman and DH most of the time. But now let's break down everything you need to know about this Jorge Polanco signing. Now before we get into this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily Mets content. Now let's get into the video. So during the 2025 season, Jorge Polanco had a 2.6 BWAR, he had 26 home runs with 78 RBIs and 6 stolen bases. He also slashed 265, 326, 495, which amounted to a 134 OPS plus. However, he did have a -4 outs above average. Now keep in mind that -4 OAA came from him playing at second base and shortstop. And like Jeff Passan reported, he will be the team's first base / DH option. Now one thing I should mention is that Jorge Polanco has never played first base before, so it's kind of another experiment from David Stearns. First, let's just take a look at these stats. So he is a very good power hitter, hitting 26 home runs just last season. He had a 265 batting average, and he is a switch hitter. And as you know, the Mets have been looking for right-handed bats, but getting a switch hitter in Jorge Polanco is just even better. So I just wanted to go over to Jorge Polanco's baseball reference page for just one moment, because you see in this last season in 2025, he did play 138 games, which is great. He was very, very durable. But you see that throughout the seasons of 2022 through 2024, he missed 184 possible games. So because of that, you have to worry about his durability on the field. He did have a good season last year, was staying on it, but there is a little bit of worry with him. But now let's take a quick look at Jorge Polanco's baseball savant page. As you see, his stats are pretty good across the board. When it comes to hitting, he is 83rd in batting run value, which is elite at the MLB level. One thing I want to point out is that he does not strike out often. He was in the 83rd percentile when it comes to K percentage. But yes, when I first looked at this signing, I was very confused before it was reported that he was going to be a first baseman. Because you look at his defense, and it's not great. He had a -4 OAA, he has horrible range, but also his arm strength is also not that great. But because of the fact that he will be playing at first base, I think that those problems were kind of mitigated. But now I want to get into what this could mean for the team. And as you guys see on the screen right here, I'm going to be putting up Jeff McNeil's stats. Is the addition of Jorge Polanco makes a Jeff McNeil trade almost 100% guaranteed. He was already very likely to be traded. However, now that the fact that we have a first baseman means that Jeff McNeil really does not have a place on this roster. But Jeff McNeil was a very good Met, but because of the clubhouse issues that he's had year over year, and the fact that he's producing less and less, I think that he just has to be on his way out. But what I don't want to do is rule out some guys that could also still be brought in that could play first base, and that first guy is Ryan O'Hearn. Now, I went over him in my video yesterday, and despite picking up Jorge Polanco to play first base, I still think that Ryan O'Hearn would be a great fit. You guys see his stats right there. They kind of speak for themselves. But what I want to point out most is that 5 outs above average at the first base position. And while I do believe that Jorge Polanco could transition into being a good defensive first baseman, having Ryan O'Hearn to be that everyday first baseman where you know you're going to get good defense and a good bat, I think that is the guy who you still want to go after. And another guy who's in that similar situation that I think we could still trade for to be our everyday first baseman is going to be Wilson Contreras. Again, yes, I went over him in my video yesterday, and he was a catcher, transitioned to first base last year, and in his first year at the position, he had a 6 outs above average. He also had 20 home runs. He slashed 257, 344, 447. So he would again be a good everyday bat to have at first base, where you know you also have good reliable defense. However, this acquisition of Jorge Polanco does likely take us out on both Munetaka Murakami and Kazuma Okamoto because of the fact that their defense is not great and they would most likely profile as first basemen. And I don't think that either of them would profile well on this Mets team anymore now that we have Jorge Polanco. And because we do have Jorge Polanco, who could also play the middle infield, I think that this also makes Luis Angel Acuna, Mark Vientos, and Ronnie Mauricio very expendable as well. Mets fans, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this Jorge Polanco pickup. Is this a good move for the Mets or is it not? Let me know in the comments. See you guys in the next one. Peace.